Yates County and beyond. Welcome back to another episode of Invasive Species Friday. Through this short weekly podcast, we at the Yates CCE hope to bring you information about the invasive species you may see around this county. So let's swim along with this week's invasive, Eurasian watermilfoil. Eurasian watermilfoil is unsurprisingly from Europe and Asia. Though it's believed to have been introduced in the late 1800s by contaminated ballast water dumped in the Chesapeake Bay, the first confirmation of EWM in the U.S. was in 1942 in a pond in Washington, D.C. It was also a popular aquarium plant and could have been spread by accidental or intentional introductions. In Oklahoma, it was used as fresh packing material for worms sold to anglers, which resulted in the spread across that state. Around 1953, it was intentionally planted to improve fish habitat in a Tennessee lake and subsequently escaped into the Tennessee River Valley and adjoining reservoirs. By the 1960s and 70s, it was considered a major invasive weed nationally and has been reported in every state except for Hawaii and Wyoming. Eurasian watermilfoil has been in New York since the 1970s and is now one of the most common aquatic invasives in the state. Though it prefers fine sediment ponds, the Eurasian watermilfoil grows in still and flowing water, tolerates a wide range of temperatures and pH levels, and can even survive under ice. It has green, feather-like leaves that are divided into 12 or more pairs of leaflets. They are arranged in whorls of 4 around the stem. The stems are light brown to pink and typically grow 3 to 9 feet long, but can reach up to 20 feet. It's a perennial plant, so the plant dies back in the fall, but the roots, which attach firmly to the sediment, survive and the plants begin to grow again in the spring. EWM flowers twice a year, in mid-June and again in late July. The flowers are small and reddish or yellow. They rise above the water surface 2 to 4 inches on projected spikes. Each plant can produce 100 seeds, but germination is often unsuccessful. This species primarily reproduces through fragmentation. As we've discussed in previous weeks, when a part of the plant breaks off and lands in sediment, it will grow roots and form a new plant. This means it will spread quickly around water bodies with motorboats. The fragments can float along with the water currents to reach a new destination, but it also easily gets stuck on trailers, anchors, and other equipment. If kept moist, it can stay alive out of the water for weeks, allowing it to hitchhike with humans farther than it would naturally make it. Eurasian watermilfoil grows quickly, reaching all the way from the substrate to the surface of the water. The dense mats it forms are hard to paddle or swim through for both humans and animals. It can also interfere with power generation or irrigation methods by clogging water intakes. EWM is unsuitable food for waterfowl and lower quality shelter for native wildlife, but it also overtakes the habitat of and outcompetes native plant species. Like the other aquatic invasive plants we covered in this podcast, EWM reduces the amount of oxygen in the ecosystem it invades, and when it dies off in the fall, the decay of the plant reduces oxygen levels even more. It's important to report sightings of this invasive because it can quickly become a monoculture, damaging the entire water body. Once it is well established, it's incredibly difficult to remove. There are native aquatic species that can look like the Eurasian watermilfoil, particularly northern watermilfoil and coontail. Northern watermilfoil resembles Christmas trees, as the lower leaflets are typically longer than the higher ones. When pulled out of the water, the northern species usually remain stiff, while the Eurasian species appear limp. The leaves of both are arranged in whorls around the stem, but the whorls will have 4 to 6 leaves for the northern, each with 7 to 10 pairs of leaflets. The Eurasian has fewer leaves, 3 to 5 per whorl, but 12 to 20 leaflets per leaf. The stem of the Eurasian is brownish pink, but the northern stems are white to whitish green. To distinguish coontail, each leaf is divided into forked patterns, and the leaf divisions have teeth along one margin. Though also in whorls, the leaves are stiff and crowded towards the tip of the stem, resembling, as you may have guessed, a coontail. There's also another invasive watermilfoil that is in New York but not yet in Yates County. The variable leaf watermilfoil has both submerged and emergent leaves and is even more aggressive than the Eurasian kind. The submerged leaves are feather-like, with 5 to 14 pairs of green to reddish-brown leaflets and are arranged in whorls of 4 to 6 around red-brown stems. The emergent leaves are highly variable bracts, a type of modified or specialized leaf. Those are toothed and stiff. If you see either the variable leaf or Eurasian watermilfoils on your adventures, please report them to IMAP Invasives. Prevention of spread is the key to all invasives, but especially these fast-growing, fragmenting, aquatic plants. It's important to clean, drain, and dry your boating, fishing, and other water equipment before moving to a new water body, and dump and sanitize anything that holds water. Don't dispose of aquariums into water bodies, and educate others of the dangers of contributing to the spread. And with that, we reach the end of this week's episode of Invasive Species Friday. Next week, we're back on land with an early leafing shrub tree. Until then, we at the Yates County CCE thank you for tuning in and supporting our fight against invasive species in Yates County.